Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here for some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero updates. It seems like a company called G Media Games leaked that Sparking Zero is going to be on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is something that we speculated here on the channel before. I mean, it was pretty dang obvious. They're bringing over a ton of AAA third-party games to the Switch. They seem like they're going to be running extremely well. The Breath of the Wild's showcase that they displayed a couple of weeks ago, that seems very promising. So I do think Sparking Zero is going to be running well on the Switch too. So we're going to be breaking down the info. Without further ado, make sure to drop a like, turn on post notifications, and let's jump straight into it. So big thanks to DBS Hype for sharing. Sparking Zero has been officially rated R for Nintendo Switch 2 in Saudi Arabia. So the G Media Games is located in Saudi Arabia. Now, the rating system is probably different over there. Their rated R video games are probably rated T over here in the US. I don't even think we have the R rating system for video games. I know for TV shows and movies there's rated R, but for video games I think there's E, T for teen, and M for mature, and that's pretty much about it. So it's not actually going to be rated R over here in the US. But that would be very interesting. I mean, I've been reading some of the comments shown in games. Gohan's going to say the word in this version, isn't he? And you guys know what word he says there. But DBS Hype got the information from Felipe over here. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero receives R rating for Nintendo Switch 2 in Saudi Arabia, and they got it from G Media Games, and they're an official company. Says the official account for the age classification of electronic games at the General Authority for G Media, right? Now, I tried to look for the original tweets. You can see how it's the same image. So there's Wild Hearts, and then we have the Sparking Zero one over here. But I can't find the tweet anymore. It seems like they took it down because it wasn't supposed to be revealed just yet. Obviously, Bandai Namco or even Nintendo Switch, they were the ones who were supposed to make the official announcements. But it's supposed to be right here because Split Fiction, they got their rating for the Switch 2 on the 24th. And I think they dropped the rating for Sparking Zero yesterday, but we don't have that. We just have this one for the next tweet that they made. So they definitely took it down. But we know it's going to happen, right? I mean, other sources picked up on this. We have Gematsu. Yeah, it pretty much got leaked. That's the correct word or term for this info today. The General Authority of Media Regulation of Saudi Arabia has rated an unannounced Switch 2 version of fighting game Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We don't necessarily know when the Switch 2 version of Sparking Zero is going to be dropping, but I'm just hoping it will run well, which I do think that's going to be the case. So here, something I mentioned before, we have all the other Dragon Ball games they initially dropped for Xbox and PlayStation, then they eventually got their Switch variations, right? Xenoverse 2, Fighters, and Kakarot. Sparking Zero is about to get the Switch 2, but the main question is, were Xenoverse 2, Sparking, or Xenoverse 2, Fighters, and Kakarot, are they going to be getting a Switch 2 upgrade? Because they are on the predecessor, the original Switch 1. So that would be kind of cool. I mean, it would most likely be the same thing. But here we have the original specs for Sparking Zero. This is the Japanese website. So we all know that it can, you know, go up to 4K or even 2K 2560 by 1440 for PC, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5. You can even turn on HDR while playing in 4K, and the maximum FPS is going to be 60 FPS. I don't think it can go to 120. So everything that Sparking Zero can output, the Switch 2 can provide. Here we have the official Nintendo site, and it says right here, the screen capability, 1920 by 1080p. We have HDR10 supports, VRR up to 120 Hertz, right? This is only under handheld mode, but we do have the video output. So I think this is when you dock the system, play on the TV. Output via HDMI connector in TV mode, maximum of 3840 by 2160, which is 4K resolution at 60 FPS. Again, only for TV mode, and that's, you know, the settings that Sparking Zero provides right here. So I truly believe that the Switch 2 will have no problem running Sparking Zero. I mean, at the end of the day, visually, it might not look as crisp or clear compared to the PlayStation 5, PC, or Xbox Series, but we don't know just yet. We do have to wait for official gameplay. Or even if Bandai Namco drops a trailer, we can probably break that down as well. But the cool thing is that it can go up to 120 FPS when playing in 1080p or 1440, which is 2K resolution. And of course, you can turn on HDR10 since it does support all of that. Of course, it won't be 4K 120 FPS with HDR. No, the maximum amount if you play in TV mode will probably be 4K 60 FPS and no HDR. Yeah, so HDR only for 1080p and 2K resolutions. So the main question over here is when they officially announce the Sparking Zero for the Switch 2. Really want to know if they're going to be providing some type of bundle. They didn't necessarily do this for Xenoverse 2 or Dragon Ball FighterZ. You just buy the original game, but for some reason they did this for DBZ Kakarot, where it comes with a new Power Awakens set, which is, if you don't know, that's DLC 1 and 2. And it's the same price as all the other consoles, Xbox and PlayStation 5. You know, it's still $60. Actually, I don't think Nintendo, I've heard that they barely, you know, knocked down their prices. Not entirely sure about all that. I just think it would be kind of cool if they throw in DLC 1 with the base game, you know, help us save a bit of extra money. That would be neat, right? Or maybe DLCs 1 and 2. They did that for Kakarot. We still don't necessarily know when Sparking Zero is going to be dropping, so what if it drops after or around the same time as DLC 3? That's a theory, but the Switch 2 officially drops June 5th. I think that's, yeah, literally next month, almost. They could drop around the same time because I know for all the other AAA video games, the third-party ones, they're going to be dropping whenever the Switch 2 drops. You know, they already made their announcements for Mario Party or Mario Kart, the Donkey Kong game, right? So there's going to be a ton of games dropping alongside the actual console. They very well could do that for Sparking Zero, or maybe it's going to be dropping at a later date, which I could see happening. Yeah, just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this. I think it's very interesting. This is literally going to be my 4th copy of Sparking Zero. Kind of crazy when you think about it. I play the PlayStation 1 and PC version of the games, you know, PC for mods and PlayStation for the original content like DLC whenever those drop. But yeah, I know there's a lot of Nintendo Switch players out there because, again, currently Sparking Zero is only out for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, right? So there's a whole other audience out there that very well could be looking forward to Sparking Zero. And even people who already have bought the game on the other consoles like myself, I'm still going to be picking this up for the Nintendo Switch 2, you know, dropping comparison videos, just trying it out for the one time. I think it would be kind of nice. So this is it for today. Nothing too major, but thank you guys for the immense support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!